Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval. Today we will be reviewing the next German battleship, that being H39, or as I have renamed her, Friedrich the Groß. Now this is the next step up from Bismarck, and I do believe she was laid down to be constructed. However, that all changed at the outbreak of war, so she was never actually completed, so we have a paper ship, but the design was pretty much finalized as far as I know. So let's see what we have. First off, I do want to show the immense size difference between Bismarck and H39. There's quite a bit of a difference. All right, so what do we have? We have 90,600 health, 27% torpedo resistance, so not too bad, and torpedo resistance, but still not the best. We have up to 385 millimeters of armor, so that is it's up there. But the belt is only 300, so about 12 inches. And then the most is on the turret faces and the barbettes and the conning tower itself. Again, you have a turtleback armor scheme, so it's really hard to citadel the ship, however, not impossible. But for the most part, you will not be citadeling her. She does take major chunk damage though, and a few good broadsides from, let's say, an Iowa or Yamato will take major chunks of damage. So keep that in mind. You still want to angle your armor as best as you can. Guns. You have 16-inch guns arranged in 4 double turrets. 2 fore, 2 aft. So you still have 8 16-inch guns, but you're still going up against like Iowas with 9 16s. You have Yamatos with 9 18s. Let's see what else is at this tier. You also have Lion with 9 16s, so you're kind of undergunned. And your accuracy is not all that good, but your shell velocity is pretty good. And your HE piercing is 101 millimeters, so you still have good HE shells. Your gun range is 23.6 kilometers with a secondary range of 7 kilometers. Again, I do have a running with a secondary buff in modules and cruise captain skill. So that goes out to about 10, 10 and a half, 11 kilometers. So pretty good. And then she also has torpedoes. She has 8-kilometer torpedoes that go 64 knots. The rate of fire is really, really good. And the damage is good as well. You have 2 triple launchers. Now where these are actually underwater. If you can see them right here. There are only 4 where they mounted torpedoes, so you can only shoot towards the bow at angles like this or like this, but they really come in handy, and they're not so easy to damage and almost destroy. I don't know if you can destroy these. I know you can damage them, so probably you could destroy them, but since they're underwater, you don't actually hit them very often. Only plunging fire has the ability to hit these. Now, they don't have the best angles like tier pits, but they're still useful. All right, so secondaries. You have quite a few secondaries. I do believe these are still the dual 6-inch guns that we find on Scharnhorst and Gneisenau and Tirpitz and Bismarck. And then these are the upgraded, I believe these are 150? No, they can't be. Either way, they're dual purpose guns, but they're also acting as secondary, so you don't actually get any more secondary turrets. Bismarck had 3 dual 6-inch and then 4 dual 4-inch. Actually, these might be 5-inch. So you still have the same number and the same range, but you have bigger guns, torpedoes, and your AA is not terrible either. If you look at it, it's pretty decent, and if you go full AA spec, you can actually make a pretty good ship. Not as good as some others at this tier, something like Iowa or Missouri, but still relatively good for a German. Your speed is 30.4 knots, so you're relatively fast as well. And then you also carry a fighter. You have 6 fighters. I believe you launch 2 at a time. So yeah, with the addition of torpedoes on the ship, it makes a whole lot of difference. And this is actually, in my opinion, one of the better matchmaking tier 9 battleships. I wouldn't always play her as something in arena, but you will definitely have quite a bit of fun with her. She is quite similar to another ship that we've already reviewed, that being H41. The only difference between this one and this one is that Rhineland gets 16.5-inch guns for the most part. You can equip a repair, a heal, and hydroacoustic search. I do have her slotted with disaster retardant, maneuverability, and secondaries for additional range. And without further ado, let's toss her into a game and see what we can do today. Alright, so here we have a game. Quite a few battleships, 1 cruiser, and only 2 destroyers. So pretty good game, honestly. Not the best. Obviously, there was a lot of cruisers and destroyers. Our secondaries could gain a lot of damage. And if there's a carrier, we might be in trouble because we don't have the best AA defense. Obviously, there are going to be aircraft strikes that will get through no matter how much AA buffs I apply. But that's okay since there's not one. Let's see, we have 2 Große, an Alsace, Missouri, and an Iowa. So, besides the 2 German ships, the other ones are relatively easy to citadel if you get the right angle. And as well as the Japanese cruiser, I'm not really worried about her either. Secondaries can take care of her, or at least aim for the big superstructures she has. Main guns can citadel her, and the Hydro can detect any torpedoes she may launch. Okay, so we're just heading out our way. I do have health buffs and speed buffs applied at this time, so I do crack over 100,000 health points, and I'm at 32.5 knots, so I'm almost as fast as a base Iowa, only difference by half a knot. Yeah, so I do have armor piercing loaded. Like I said, your high explosive is pretty good, but honestly, my mentality is you can use your secondaries for high explosive and fire damage, and just use your main guns for armor piercing damage. So no good targets. I can fire, but they're just gonna ricochet. Where, as I did the Rhineland or the H41 video, where I showed that she was extremely weak when used as a brawling ship, I don't really find that with H39. She actually seems to be a lot more better suited to the brawling business than H41. Good shell velocity. Accuracy is questionable, but it's still good enough to get 17,000 health off of that Atago. Though I maybe should have gone for the Missouri. Secondaries are going off at about 10 kilometers. I have to remember I have torpedoes, because that's not something you usually have on mainline German battleships. Ooh, you got a kill already. Awesome. I'm gonna rush down that further. The Große with torpedoes. I was waiting for this Missouri to turn around and give me broadside. And here she comes. Or at least she started to. Still 17.9k. These are the torpedo angles, by the way. So they're very similar to Rodney. However, Frederick de Gross is a lot better with torpedo angles. Alright, I need you to sink so I can lift down the Frederick de Gross. There we go. I think she's actually going to go on this side of the island. Pretty good damage there, actually. Alright, so let's put some torpedoes into her side. See if those actually clear. Yeah, they do. Awesome. So you can see you have a triple launcher on each side. You don't have the most damage. You're not going to one-shot battleships with them. Ooh, a Citadel. Awesome. But you can still get some pretty good damage, and it does help finish off battleships as well. Don't know if I can clear this island. Ooh, we can. Awesome. But the accuracy, on the other hand... And as you can see, good torpedoes, they're already almost reloaded. A lot better than the ones on Ronnie, which take forever and a day. And then all this is the last one. I probably should be switching over to high explosive, but I don't know if she's going to give me another broadside. So we'll just sit here and see what we can do. And it doesn't look like she's going to last too long anyways. And there we go. Alright, so let's see how we did today. $218,000 damage, 4 ships sunk, 41 shell hits, 5 torpedoes, 5 aircraft shot down, 7 citadels, 1 fire, 1 flooding, 175 secondary hits for over 4,000 base XP. 145,000 damage was in AP shells. And from fire and flooding, we had only 7,500 in fire. Secondary battery did 18,000, so not as much as you might expect, but there's a lot of battleships in this game. And then torpedoes did 47,000 damage. So if you can get close enough to use your torpedoes, then definitely take advantage of it, but keep in mind you are not a destroyer, so there will be some games where you don't use your torpedoes. But that's not something that the enemy will ever, or at least should, expect unless they know the ship pretty well. And it was the torpedoes on the ship have never always been there. It was actually an update quite a few months ago actually. So that if there's other players that haven't played in a while, they might not know about that, and you can use that advantage as well. But all in all, the ship is really, really fun. She's a lot stronger than Bismarck in my opinion, and a lot more versatile than tomorrow's video ship, that being H42, or as I have renamed her, Große, and the sister ship Kaiser Friedrich de Wilhelm. No idea if I'm pronouncing any of this right, that's just what I do. This is the biggest ship in the game with the most health, but we will go over that tomorrow. So again, thank you for watching and take care.